Hello, everybody. It's a Doctor here with Typical Manga Fan, and this episode of the Typical Manga Review is going to be dedicated to Bleach, Chapter 675, Blood for My Bone. And we open this chapter with a view of a Quincy, but neither of them are the Quincy's we want to see. Instead, we have Uryu getting ready to fire his bow at Oswald, but first he wants to ask Oswald a question.
Damn it, we've already had these questions. There's so much dialogue. I think last chapter,
Where's
Hashwell's
Ryukin?
like, last chapter, Hashwell's like, let's stop talking or something like that. And I'm just like, okay. And then he keeps talking, and now we start with more talking. I mean, come on. And then Uryu basically asks, why does Hashwell care who Uryu is? Because honestly, I mean, so basically he's like, you realize that I was actually just trying to buy time for to get to Uebach. And it's like, wouldn't it be better if you just try to defeat me and like get to your box side as quickly as possible? He's like, well, and then I like how Hashwell says, I feel like a broken record. It's like we all feel that, man. And he says how his ability has let him see the future, and then like, oh, your box, his Majesty's gonna win. Doesn't really matter what I do. And then Uryu says something rather interesting where he says, you've seen it, but the future can be seen, can it not? I mean, can be changed, can it not? And then he says yes, which is actually like, wait, what? You can actually change the future they foresee. And it turns out it's because from Hashwell's point of view, he can only see one future prediction. Like he can only predict one aspect of the future. Yeah. Only one possibility. There you go. He can only see one possibility, whereas because he doesn't have full control of over the Uebach's power, whereas Uebach can see everything. Which is sort of like, okay, now that kind of explains why Hashwell is like seeing stuff and then it's not happening. Like he says, oh, you're gonna like be defeated here, and it doesn't, or how he's like, everyone's just like, oh, Hashwell can see the future, so let's talk over here, so that way he can't, he doesn't hear us. Like, well, who does, well, how can he not? He can see the future, but maybe this type of development will allow us to understand some of the limitations to his ability, because it was sort of like, how is it that his ability is better suited for combat than the ability to know everything? Yeah. Now that he said, like, look, I can only see one future, and it's not always going to be correct. Then actually it's kind of useless if that's the case, because it can mislead you. But and then now the balance power is my actual power. But it's true though, like if he can only see one possibility, it's not really useful, especially if that possibility can be changed, because we can all predict the future into some capacity. Not, we don't see visions, but we can say, oh, based on this, we can say for certain that maybe this is going to happen, So if anything, it can mislead you, whereas Uebach sees all the possibilities, So he can always find a way to counteract something. But anyway, so he basically says that the almighty power, is terrifying because it's not just the ability to see the future.
And here I'm going to go real quickly take a shot, because there's a shocked face. What do you mean?
Oh yeah, you're right. I didn't notice that for a second.
Like, I'll tell you after we settle things here and I've kicked your ass. Now then, the time has come to place everything you are upon the scales. The one that blocks you from the road you can never return down. Oh, I'm sorry, wrong tone. The one that blocks you from the road you can never return down. Your broken scales. Whatever that means.
He's doing a lot of metaphor about his powers because he's all about balance and shit. But we get it, okay? We know that your power is the balancing thing. Stop using metaphors to explain your powers or explain what you're trying to do. We get it. You're balanced. You're the bee. You're the balance.
And then
Mike,
yeah. Oh, sorry, I was just gonna kind of move on there, but go ahead.
Oh no, it's okay. You can go on.
Okay. At this point, we come back to Ichigo and Ewok. Ichigo gets thrown back. Orihime's trying to stop him, like, calm down for a second. But he actually looks surprisingly calm.
What's interesting is that Tekken 101, the other Bleach reviewer, he actually kept track of how many times Orihime said Kurosaki-kun 4 times already in the past 2 chapters. And she keeps, so yeah, she gives that face like, oh my god, I didn't expect him to be so calm. And then she just was phased for a second, and she gets determined again. And here's what I'll say about this is that while I do agree that her development felt her being thrusted into the final battle after basically not being a factor in all the previous ones for such a long time feels very unearned, and it feels like she should have been given a lot more what is it like say more build up to this type of moment. But if I were to isolate that, if I were to say, okay, let's forget about that, and that's just for net, in terms of just focusing on what she's doing in this battle, I'm actually liking it because she's actually doing something that I would expect her to do. Where yeah, sure, she's not the offensive type of fighter.
Yep.
Although she could be, because they said that like she has the potential to be, but whatever. She at least is being like the defensive wingman for or in this case wingwoman for Ichigo, and like actually blocking and allowing Ichigo to attack, and what's it called, like best defense and good offense?
Yeah.
Is that what,
That's
yeah,
that's
so I think
Ichigo's
it's good.
belief.
Yeah, and considering he's just running in over and over again to your box shadows.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Yoak's like wondering why he keeps charging in. Like, I simply cannot understand why you are in such a rush to die. Is it because you're showing me your true power? Is it the fear of having it stolen from you if you unveil it? Are you sure you're okay with it ending like this, Ichigo? If you fall here, both the real world and Soul Society will meet their end by mine very own hands. Tell me, do these facts sit well with you, Ichigo?
And then we have some more shield blocking from Orihime, and then he's basically like, well, he says like, the fact that your comrade's healing you, it means that she's telling you to fight. It's like, okay, yeah, we know that. So how about you, Ichigo? You who are the voice of the powerless, who represent the weak, the one who for those who wouldn't be able to breathe without you. So he's basically mocking the fact that Ichigo is like defending all these people, and he says, stand tall and fight and breathe the final breath. But what's interesting is that if you think about it, when Ichigo first unleashed Zangetsu the very first time, way back when he was being trained by Urahara, didn't Old Man Zakugetsu say something like stand tall and fight?
I want to say yes, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's just funny because, obviously Old Man Zangetsu was based off of Yua Box, so it's interesting that now he's saying the same words, except now he's, the villain. And we see that Ichigo is, his sword, the black sword, so the big one, is turning white. And then Ichigo sees that, and he screams for Orihime to pull up a shield. And then he says, he thanks Orihime, and then Orihime says, like, I froze and I couldn't fall after you, even though all I could do was grab onto your bit of your clothing. You still stopped me, and she basically talks about the expression that he gave, and that how she will always remember that. And she said that, there has to be a reason for it.
And he confirms that. Yeah, pretty much.
I'm a little annoyed at the fact that we get it, Orihime, you've always been looking at Ichigo's back, you wanted to stand by him, blah blah, we get it, okay? Now that you don't have to waste like this time saying, oh, I could never understand you before, now I do, or I always had to, follow you, I was always not at your level, now I am. Like, we get it, you're part of the fight, okay? Let's keep going, Also, all that does is just bring back the memories of her the disappointment, Like, I get it, she's not an offensive fighter, but that doesn't mean first off, that doesn't mean she's not a fighter. And even if she's not a fighter, people always say, oh, she's the white mage of the group, so she heals people, and then they cite like the 2 times she's healed Ichigo in between fights, and I'm just like, congratulations, she's the Nurse Joy of Bleach. That doesn't mean she's in a crucial character in the manga. She has to be there, okay? You can find a way for a non-offensive character to help out, and that's exactly what's supposed to be happening. Like what's happening here, except I wanted what's happening here to be, to have been the same throughout the previous fights. Her blocking Ichigo while he's attacking. It's a great tag team. It's honestly a shame that we waited for the final fight for that. I know it's supposed to be a big moment, and you can argue that, oh, he's trying to save it for the final fight, but again, there has to be some type of build up to it, and that's my disappointment. But now that the sword is turning white, he's like, okay, he needed to buy some time to unleash his Quincy Ryatsu, and because there's someone I needed to jolt awake. So congratulations, Ichigo, your sword is basically like Ikaku now, because his Bankai took a while to wake up.
I think in this case, though, it's just as Ichigo says, he's not used to using Quincy Ryatsu.
Yeah. Did he say next page? I didn't.
I think so. It's like the next one on this. I need to buy some time to unleash this Quincy Ryatsu because there's someone I need to jolt awake.
Yeah, but he didn't say that's because he was inexperienced with the Ryatsu, Quincy Ryatsu. He just said, I need to buy some time because... well, my guess is that Zangetsu is kind of sleeping. Because remember, old man Zangetsu, the fake Zangetsu, he thought he was supposed to sit on the sidelines and let the real Zangetsu take over. But I guess Ichigo kind of wanted to say, no, you're part of this too. You're part of me. Let's help each other out, even if it's against Yobak. Something along those lines. Or yes, maybe it is because of Quincy of his inexperience with Quincy powers, and this is basically his first fight, so maybe it takes a while to get started. It's not really clear on that, but I'm assuming it's something around that. So basically, his katana is turning white, as Orihime notes, and a huge explosion. And first off, I'd like to point out something. It's like he needed to buy some time, right? So I guess so apparently the most tactical way of doing that is to rush at the enemy straight head on. That is not what I want to do if I want to buy time.
Well, I think part of it's like,
but anyway,
taking advantage of Ewok's want to talk. Like, he wants to talk.
Yeah, but what? Well, in that case, why does he try to avoid it and try to dance around Yobak rather than going at Yobak directly?
I figured that was why the whole needing the Quincy Ryatsu thing is like why he was taking the attacks.
Is that maybe I'm saying that's my other thing. Maybe that's why. Maybe he needed to sort of use Zangetsu more, or not Zangetsu, but use actually it is Zangetsu. Use the Zangetsu more to kind of be exposed to either battle or more Quincy Ryatsu from Yobak to be unleashed or something along those lines. I don't think I don't think it has to be against a Quincy. Maybe it could still work against anyone else. My guess is just it needs to be like he said. There's someone I need to jolt awake. So I guess the jolt awake is just using it over and over again. So obviously maybe running around and and avoiding Yobak wouldn't kind of allow him to wake up basically. Because I think Ikaku still works similar, right? Ikaku needed to be part of a battle and not just wait for his power to kind of be unleashed. I think that's maybe the case. I don't remember Ikaku's power exactly, but maybe something like that. So anyway, we have this huge explosion behind Orihime's shield, and then Yobak's like, oh, now I see. So that was your endgame. And then we see now this is actually where double face spreads is legit. This is cool. This is when you use it, by the way. And we see Ichigo, half of his face is like, look, let's look at the right half first, because that's the one that's kind of not as
like the black eye side.
No, the other one. It's not as decorated. So the right side is his right. Because
his right side looks like BC Gaia.
Yeah, well, I think I know what Kuba's trying to do. Maybe he's trying to get more of the fangirls to go crazy, you know? Can't let Ichigo have all the fangirls and all the fun. So yeah, his hair kind of spikes up a bit, and it's like combed back, I think too. And so that's what he gets from his right side. But from the left side is where the real story comes out. It's his it's his hollow powers, but with the horn, awesome.
Yeah.
And the same design that his mask used to have, and he has the hollow left eye. Yeah. And you see that the kind of like the tattoo is going down his neck, like his when he was a hollow. Yeah. And you actually see that his I think that's his Bankai uniform, but it's actually not like the way it used to be. Now the shoulders are revealed. And so it's really cool. And it says on the left side, the little caption, the two separated white and black have finally become one. And it's interesting that he uses Quincy powers to activate his hollow powers. That's kind of weird, don't you think? Well, first off, his hollow powers are basically his Shinigami powers at this point because they have fuse, right? So they're basically the same thing. But it's still interesting that his Quincy powers are used to awaken that because, of the relationship between Quincy's and hollows. Yep. So it's really weird. If anything, isn't it, because they talked about how, the hollow inside of his mom was kind of, made her impure. But yet, I want to see how the hollow in him, with his Shinigami powers, how it affects his Quincy powers. Is there going to be a clash? Does it make him weaker? Does it make him stronger in a way that maybe Yobak didn't see? Because obviously, Yobak has this purification type of idea. Obviously, I'm assuming there's some type of relationship saying no, being part of everyone is a good thing. Diversity is a good thing. Blah 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 blah. So maybe this is Ichigo's way of telling Yobak no, your Nazi your Nazi ideas are not legit. It's me being part of everyone is what will allow me to defeat you, the one who just wants to stand by himself. So something like that. I might be overthinking it. I don't want to say it's. I don't want to say that Kubo is doing some type of soul show commentary or something, because that might be a little too over looking into things. But maybe he is trying to say something, or maybe he's just trying to have fun and just wants. Yeah.
Well, I'm all for it if he's actually just trying to have fun with it, because at least that might be an uptick in this quality.
Well, I mean, the thing is, like, you always want to have some type of theme going on, right? I mean, that's a good thing, right? But you don't want to make it so that you sound pretentious, it's a little bit of a balance. And so far, I enjoyed. It's not just one strike, one kill. We had slashing, we had jumping around, you had Orihime doing shields. It was, to me, this chapter showed an actual fight.
Yeah,
which is like
true.
Amazing.
I mean, even if it was Leroy Jenkins into it, at least it was Leroy with the purpose.
Yeah, I mean, like, he was jumping around, he was moving. That's what I wanted. I wanted to see moving. I didn't want to see people standing in one place and just unleashing a gigantic attack. Like a freaking Yu-Gi-Oh trading card game, or like Yu-Gi-Oh one of those Yu-Gi-Oh matches with the holograms. They just stand in one place and they just tell the other guy to attack. Everyone has their turn.
Yep.
And so again, I love this design. I mean, I've always liked the mask, like the mask better because it makes you more terrifying. But this is good. I mean, obviously this is good too, and I kind of expected this because in a lot, people want to show the face because the face shows that he is still in control of his powers. And again, I just love it when when good guys look demonic, because I always think good guys look boring. They always like goody two shoes. They have like they like neatly clean hair, and they always like you can see their very kind face. I want to see and the villains always look so cool, And so I'm happy to see that a good guy actually looks demonic. Like he has horns for hell, and
I think
horns.
A lot of that's just simply from the fact that the good guys have to look virtuous.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I understand why. It's just I got sick of it after a while, because everyone's like, but Bleach was always like darkness. Controlling the darkness, and it's just really cool to see this, and yeah, I get that they look virtuous. That doesn't change the fact they look boring.
But yeah, in this case, and you get a little half and half thing going here, which is actually a very nice touch to this.
Yeah. I mean, like people. First off, people always they always like the villain more because the villain is always the cool one, obviously. Yeah. So, and also, yeah, it is basically a reference to when. The old Zangetsu, the fake Zangetsu, combined with Ichigo's hollow powers, and he had that half horn, half hollow eye, half everything. Remember that?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
The Vital Getsuga Tensho training. When Old Man Zangetsu was younger, when he was in the Tensa Zangetsu form, so he looked younger. He combined his ability, his form with Ichigo's inner hollow, and they created like a hybrid. So basically, this is a reference to that. Because it was stated that in that fight that if he wanted to, that Zangetsu would have like destroyed Ichigo, but he wasn't trying to beat Ichigo, And right. So him letting himself get stabbed was the way to kind of unleash the final Getsuga Tensho. But I feel like it's like, well, that still means he doesn't have full access to his powers because that power was still stronger than him. Now him being represented in the same way, I think shows that he has actual full access to his abilities now, and everything is on the table. Because I swear to God, I hope there's something still left in. I mean, I really want Ichigo to go all out because we've had this whole potential thing. Like, he has the potential. That's why he's one of the 5 powers, right? But there's a point where potential needs to become actual like substance.
Yeah, the only thing I would buy at this point for not going all out is if there's some reason he can't, like say maybe there's like more power that needs to be built up like while he's fighting like this one did.
Yeah. I mean, no, that's cool. I mean, the power is still there. It's just he needs to he needs to be able to activate it. He has a process to activate it. That's cool. That's fine.
At worst, he just has to meet the right conditions.
I just don't want it to be like a Deus Ex Machina, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, it came out of nowhere. Like he didn't expect it himself. If he knows how powerful he is, I think he should. I think that all the powers he uses to defeat Yobok, I think he should have control of, because that's the point of his development, right? He could never control his powers before completely. Now that it's the final battle, I think this is when he should. Of course, some people might say, oh, maybe King Ginjo might come in and give him some of his full bringer powers. Although to be honest, I don't think it will help. His full bringer powers were not that great, Which reminds me, so now that the final battle is happening, and where's Tsukishima and Ginjo and Kiriko? I mean, are they gonna help out for with the Gigantor fight, or help out with Ichigo when this fight probably will turn sour and turn in Yuva box dominating, because that's how the fight will probably go. I mean,
wait, what was the question? I didn't catch all of it.
I mean, like, do you think Ginjo and Tsukishima and Kiriko are still they're still out there? They haven't joined the fight yet. How do you think they're gonna join? Like, do you think they're gonna? Because they have to be. They were hyped. They were they were hinted at. And so are they going to help out with a Gigantor fight, which is not really going well for Byakuya and Hitsugaya, or are they going to help out with maybe Ichigo when maybe Ichigo might have some struggles, because we all know that this fight's not going to go cleanly, be exactly a win, an easy win for Ichigo. So we know he's going to struggle. So I'm assuming that maybe they're split up. Maybe they'll split up. Maybe one guy takes on Gigantor, and maybe one or two others are going to help Ichigo. And then there's Aizen. I mean, and then there's Ryukin and Ishin. I mean, there's too many players.
And Tweety Bar is still around too.
Yeah, let's forget about him. He's basically a non-factor. He said he lost his Halo. He lost most of his powers. Like, so freaking Kira is able to destroy them. Like, if Kira can do it, then I don't think it's not much of a problem. It's just a nuisance. He's just a nuisance at this point. I think him surviving was just a way for Kubo to reintroduce Kira in a very cool fashion. You know, that's just about it.
Yep.
Anyway, so that's about it.
Yep, that's it. This one's kind of mostly been yours, I think, but yeah, that's been our. I really don't have anything to add on this one. I didn't really have many major opinions one way or the other on this.
Yeah, I think it's just really cool that he looks like that. I mean, I'm a big fan of when the heroes look like the villains, you know, or they look demonic, or they look really like they look badass. Again, I hate the virtuous look. I get why it's there. I never liked it. I got tired of it like really quickly, and I'm glad that Ichigo, like Bleach is always one of those things where they did do that. They made a demonic looking face, mask, all that, and I'm glad that they followed suit once again.
Anyway, yeah, at this point, though, that has been our review of Bleach Chapter 675, Blood for My Bone. Go ahead and take us away.
Bye!